Effective communication is the cornerstone of any healthy, thriving relationship. For couples, the ability to express thoughts, feelings, and needs openly and respectfully not only nurtures emotional intimacy, but also helps resolve conflicts, deepen understanding, and foster mutual growth. Yet, despite its importance, many couples struggle with communication challenges. Misunderstandings, unspoken resentments, and habitual patterns can erode even the strongest bonds over time. This guide explores effective communication strategies for couples, offering practical coaching insights and tools designed to transform the way partners connect and relate to one another. At the heart of effective communication lies the principle of active listening. Too often, couples fall into the trap of hearing only what they expect or want to hear, rather than truly listening to their partner's words and emotions. Active listening requires presence and intention. It means setting aside distractions, putting down the phone, turning off the television, and making eye contact. More than just hearing the words, it involves tuning into the underlying feelings and messages being conveyed. When one partner speaks, the other should focus fully, using verbal and nonverbal cues, such as nodding, maintaining an open posture, and offering brief affirmations to signal engagement. Reflective statements like, "What I'm hearing is," or "It sounds like you feel," help clarify meaning and demonstrate understanding. Empathy is a natural extension of active listening. To communicate effectively, partners must strive to see the world through each other's eyes. Empathy bridges the gap between two distinct perspectives, fostering compassion and reducing defensiveness. When one partner shares something vulnerable, the other's empathetic response, "That must be really hard for you," or "I can imagine how upsetting that felt," validates the experience and builds trust. Empathy does not always mean agreement, but it does require respect for the other's feelings. By prioritizing empathy, couples create a safe space where both individuals feel seen and valued. Clear and honest expression is equally vital. Many communication breakdowns occur because partners hesitate to voice their true thoughts or needs, perhaps out of fear of conflict or rejection. The result is often resentment or passive-aggressive behavior, which undermines intimacy. Couples benefit from adopting I statements, such as, "I feel hurt when," or "I need more support with," instead of accusatory you statements. This approach reduces blame, encourages ownership of emotions, and invites constructive dialogue. Honesty, when delivered with kindness and tact, lays the foundation for genuine connection. Timing and context also play crucial roles in communication. Sensitive topics are best addressed when both partners are calm and receptive, rather than in the heat of an argument or at the end of a stressful day. Setting aside regular times, such as a weekly check-in or a daily debrief, ensures that important conversations are not neglected. These rituals can become anchors in the relationship, providing a predictable space for sharing and reflection. When disagreements do arise, taking a break to cool down before returning to the discussion can prevent escalation and allow for more thoughtful responses. Nonverbal communication is another powerful, often overlooked aspect of couple dynamics. Body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and physical touch all convey meaning beyond words. A gentle touch, a warm smile, or a reassuring hug can communicate love and support even when words fall short. Conversely, crossed arms, eye-rolling, or a harsh tone can signal disinterest or contempt, sometimes contradicting verbal messages. Becoming aware of these cues and discussing any mismatches between words and actions can help couples align their communication and avoid misunderstandings. Conflict is inevitable in any close relationship, but how couples handle conflict determines whether it becomes a source of growth or division. Healthy conflict resolution begins with the recognition that disagreements are normal and can be productive when managed constructively. Partners should aim to approach conflicts as a team, focusing on the problem rather than attacking each other. Techniques such as taking turns speaking, summarizing the other's point of view, and seeking common ground foster collaboration. It's helpful to remember that the goal is not to win the argument, but to find solutions that respect both partners' needs. One of the most damaging patterns in couple communication is the use of criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, a quartet identified by relationship researcher John Gottman as the four horsemen of relationship breakdown. Criticism attacks the person rather than the behavior, while contempt expresses disdain or superiority. Defensiveness shifts blame instead of accepting responsibility, and stonewalling involves shutting down or withdrawing from interaction. Couples who recognize these patterns can work to replace them with healthier alternatives. Gentle startups, appreciation, personal accountability, and self-soothing techniques. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard and would appreciate your attention." Appreciation and positive reinforcement are essential for sustaining strong communication. In the busyness of daily life, it's easy to focus on what's lacking or problematic, overlooking the strengths and efforts of one's partner. Regularly expressing gratitude, whether for small acts of kindness or larger gestures, reinforces positive behaviors and creates a culture of appreciation. Compliments, thank yous, and affectionate notes remind partners of their value and the reasons they chose each other. Over time, this positivity can buffer the relationship against stress and conflict. Emotional regulation is a critical skill for effective communication, especially during disagreements. Intense emotions can cloud judgment and lead to reactive or hurtful comments. Couples can practice self-soothing strategies, such as deep breathing, taking a walk, or pausing the conversation, to regain composure before continuing. It's important to recognize personal triggers and communicate them to one's partner. For instance, if raised voices are overwhelming, expressing this need can help both partners adjust their approach. By managing emotions constructively, couples can maintain respect and minimize harm during challenging interactions. Shared meaning and values underpin lasting relationships. Communication is not just about exchanging information, it's about co-creating a narrative and vision for the partnership. Couples benefit from discussing their hopes, dreams, and priorities, as well as their individual backgrounds and beliefs. These conversations build understanding and alignment, helping partners navigate differences and make joint decisions. Rituals, traditions, and shared goals reinforce the sense of we-ness that sustains intimacy over time. Vulnerability is the gateway to deeper connection. While it can be daunting to reveal fears, insecurities, or unmet needs, doing so invites authenticity and closeness. Couples can cultivate vulnerability by creating an environment of acceptance and non-judgment. This means responding to disclosures with curiosity rather than criticism, and offering reassurance rather than solutions when comfort is needed. Over time, repeated experiences of safe vulnerability build trust and resilience in the relationship. Humor and playfulness also play important roles in couple communication. Shared laughter diffuses tension, fosters bonding, and reminds partners not to take themselves too seriously. Playful teasing, inside jokes, and spontaneous fun inject joy into the relationship and provide relief from stress. Couples who prioritize play are better equipped to weather challenges and keep their connection vibrant. Setting boundaries is another key aspect of healthy communication. Boundaries define what is acceptable and unacceptable in terms of behavior, language, and interaction. Clear boundaries protect individual well-being and ensure that both partners feel respected. Discussing boundaries openly, such as time alone, privacy, or limits around technology use, prevents misunderstandings and resentment. Respecting each other's boundaries is an ongoing process that requires negotiation and flexibility. Technology offers both opportunities and challenges for couple communication. On one hand, digital tools enable partners to stay connected across distances, share daily updates, and express affection through texts or calls. On the other hand, excessive screen time, distractions, or misinterpreted messages can create distance. Couples can agree on guidelines for technology use, such as device-free meals or designated phone-off times, to prioritize face-to-face interaction. Using technology mindfully enhances, rather than detracts from, relational quality. Cultural, familial, and gender influences shape communication styles and expectations. Partners may come from different backgrounds with distinct norms regarding emotional expression, conflict, and intimacy. Openly discussing these influences helps couples understand each other's communication patterns and avoid misinterpretations. A willingness to learn and adapt enriches the relationship and broadens each partner's perspective. Forgiveness and repair are essential when communication falters. No couple communicates perfectly at all times. Misunderstandings, hurtful words, or lapses in attention are inevitable. What matters is the ability to acknowledge mistakes, apologize sincerely, and make amends. Repair attempts, such as humor, affection, or a simple "I'm sorry," signal the desire to restore connection. Couples who practice forgiveness let go of grudges and focus on growth rather than perfection. Growth-oriented communication involves ongoing learning and adaptation. Relationships evolve, and so do individual needs and preferences. Regularly checking in with each other, asking questions like, "How are we doing?" or "What could we improve?" keeps the lines of communication open. Seeking feedback and being willing to change fosters mutual development and prevents stagnation. Coaching can be a valuable resource for couples seeking to enhance their communication. A skilled coach provides a neutral, supportive space for partners to explore patterns, identify obstacles, and practice new skills. Coaching sessions may include role-playing difficult conversations, developing personalized communication plans, and setting actionable goals. The coach serves as both a facilitator and a guide, helping couples translate insights into lasting behavioral change. Self-awareness is fundamental to effective communication. Each partner brings unique experiences, triggers, and communication habits to the relationship. Reflecting on one's own patterns, such as tendencies to interrupt, withdraw, or escalate, enables more intentional interactions. Journaling, mindfulness practices, or individual counseling can support this self-exploration. The more partners understand themselves, the better equipped they are to communicate authentically and compassionately. Resilience in communication means bouncing back from setbacks and maintaining hope during difficult times. Life's stresses, such as work pressures, parenting challenges, or health issues, can strain even the strongest relationships. Couples who cultivate resilience approach communication as a collaborative effort, supporting each other through adversity. They celebrate progress, learn from setbacks, and remain committed to growth. Celebrating diversity within the relationship enriches communication. Differences in personality, interests, or communication styles can be sources of strength rather than division. Curiosity about each other's uniqueness fosters respect and deepens connection. Couples can explore their differences through shared activities, open-ended questions, and by embracing each other's quirks. Mindfulness enhances communication by promoting presence and intentionality. Mindful couples notice their thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations during interactions, allowing them to respond rather than react. Simple practices, such as pausing before speaking, breathing deeply, or silently repeating a calming phrase, create space for thoughtful communication. Mindfulness also increases empathy and patience, reducing impulsivity and misunderstanding. Sexual communication is an important, often neglected aspect of couple dynamics. Open discussions about desires, boundaries, and preferences foster intimacy and satisfaction. Partners may feel vulnerable or embarrassed discussing sexual topics, but honest communication is key to a fulfilling sex life. Creating a judgment-free space for these conversations strengthens trust and mutual pleasure. Parenting introduces new dimensions to couple communication. Decisions about discipline, education, and family routines require alignment and cooperation. Couples benefit from presenting a united front to children, while also respecting each other's parenting styles. Regular check-ins about parenting goals and challenges ensure that both partners feel supported and involved. Financial communication is another area where couples often encounter difficulty. Money can be a source of tension or anxiety, especially when partners have different spending habits or financial priorities. Transparent discussions about budgets, goals, and concerns prevent misunderstandings and build financial intimacy. Developing a shared financial plan and revisiting it regularly keeps both partners informed and engaged. Long-distance relationships present unique communication challenges and opportunities. Physical separation requires intentional efforts to maintain connection, such as scheduling regular video calls, sharing daily highlights, and planning visits. Creative rituals, like watching a movie together online or sending care packages, help bridge the distance. Clear communication about expectations, boundaries, and future plans sustains hope and commitment. Blended families and step relationships add layers of complexity to communication. Navigating relationships with children, ex-partners, and extended family members requires sensitivity and flexibility. Open discussions about roles, boundaries, and expectations help prevent misunderstandings and foster harmony. Patience and empathy are especially important as blended families establish new norms and connections. Couples facing major life transitions, such as relocation, career changes, or retirement, benefit from proactive communication. Anticipating challenges, expressing fears and hopes, and jointly planning for the future reduce uncertainty and build confidence. Supporting each other through change strengthens the partnership and affirms commitment. Health challenges, whether physical or mental, can strain communication and emotional connection. Partners may experience fear, frustration, or helplessness. Open, compassionate dialogue about needs, limitations, and coping strategies is essential. Seeking external support, such as therapy, support groups, or medical professionals, can provide additional resources and perspective. Cross-cultural relationships offer rich opportunities for growth, but also potential for misunderstanding. Language barriers, differing customs, and distinct family dynamics can complicate communication. Partners who approach these differences with curiosity and respect create a foundation for mutual enrichment. Learning each other's languages, celebrating cultural traditions, and discussing expectations openly foster harmony and appreciation. Spiritual or religious differences may also influence communication and values. Respectful dialogue about beliefs, practices, and rituals helps partners honor each other's spirituality while finding common ground. Couples can explore ways to integrate or support each other's spiritual journeys, strengthening their bond. Enduring relationships require ongoing investment in communication. The strategies outlined in this guide are not one-time fixes, but lifelong practices. Couples who prioritize communication, making time for each other, expressing appreciation, and seeking growth, build resilient, fulfilling partnerships. Challenges are inevitable, but with commitment and skill, couples can navigate them with grace and emerge stronger. In summary, effective communication for couples is a multifaceted endeavor, encompassing active listening, empathy, honesty, timing, nonverbal cues, conflict resolution, appreciation, emotional regulation, shared meaning, vulnerability, humor, boundaries, technology management, cultural awareness, forgiveness, growth orientation, coaching, self-awareness, resilience, diversity, mindfulness, sexual and financial openness, parenting cooperation, long-distance strategies, blended family navigation, transition management, health challenge support, cross-cultural sensitivity, and spiritual respect. Each couple's journey is unique, but the principles remain constant: presence, respect, curiosity, and commitment to growth. With intentional practice and support, couples can transform their communication and, in turn, their relationship. As you embark on this journey, remember that change takes time and effort. Old habits may resurface, and setbacks are part of the process. Be patient with yourself and your partner. Celebrate small victories, seek help when needed, and remain open to learning. Effective communication is not about perfection, but about connection, returning to each other again and again with openness and love. Through mindful, compassionate communication, couples can create relationships that are not only enduring, but deeply satisfying and joyful.